Oki's got a question here. We can both take our shot at this one, and I don't think it can really be answered accurately. We can only give our perspective on this. So Oki is asking, do you think OU being a Christian-centered team is pushing away players?
Of all the questions that I anticipated today, that's definitely not one of them. But it's a really good question. I think so. Here's my assessment. The culture is, and I'm not saying anything about what Riley's beliefs were. I think the culture is a complete 180 from where it was at this point last year to where it was where it is now. Venables has talked a lot about not necessarily pushing pushing his belief system, but really kind of talking giving some of these kids armor to be able to, if they want to have a greater relationship with God, or if they're very interested in that, but they've not been given really an outlet for that. Venables wants to be one of those coaches that really kind of allows that to happen, allows an outlet for those kids that want to strengthen their relationship. And so I think I don't know that it's, I mean, it's obviously pushing away players. I mean, I don't know to what extent. I think they have been a little bit more, I think choosy is maybe the right word, in terms of not necessarily from a Christian based perspective, guys. I think it's more so of a fit. They want kids that fit into the culture, fit into the mold of what they're trying to build at the University of Oklahoma, and not necessarily if you're a great player, but you've got to have you've got to have that little extra. He talked about, Venables talked a lot about, like, I want to know you as a person before I know you as a football player. So I think that approach, I think it will help Oklahoma. I think in the long run, because I think everything that I've heard thus far, Mark and Oki, is the recruits that Oklahoma has brought in. It's made a huge impact early on in some of these recruits. In terms of how different it has been over the previous regime, and even other places that they'll go to. So I think it could end up being a good differentiator for Oklahoma as they move forward.
I think I can say this with confidence. Is it pushing away players? Probably. When you deal with dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of players, and going forward, will it push someone away? Probably. But is it also attracting players? And I can pretty emphatically answer that as well. Yes. So there's going to be both to a certain extent. I don't know Brent Venables personally. I don't know Dabo Swinney personally. Of course, Dabo Swinney being the head coach of a major program, we've heard and seen more from him in this regard because of the spotlight being on him. And in addition to just being the head coach at Clemson, with the success that he's had with that program, he's had a platform. So I believe that if you're living out your faith, and I'm speaking of the Christian faith, if you're living that out in such a way that is accurate to biblical beliefs, you can do it in such a way that is going to attract individuals, even if they don't believe what you believe, by just having a culture of caring for people, treating them the right way, loving them, accepting them, and then going forward. And then, as Jason alluded to, giving that opportunity, the opportunity to strengthen your relationship and learning more, and giving that outlet or that opportunity for those individuals that are interested, but then just treating everyone the way that we would all want to be treated. And that would be something that would be attractive to most people if it's lived out.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think you've seen this thus far, and you'll continue to see. Venables is going to model this program to a certain degree, and probably to a fairly large degree, off of off of. I saw that comment. I was trying not to chuckle, but um,
Especially if it's the national championship game, we would like to see what the conclusion is, but I'm sure we could probably watch that in some fashion. The
yeah,
what would have been the replay of it
yeah.
later.
But you're going to see Venables model this program a lot off of Clemson's program. I mean, and you just are. I mean, he's got a, you know, he's with Dabo for so many years, and everything that he's done, he talks so glowingly about Dabo. So I think he's a it's a program that Oklahoma is going to pattern themselves off of, and to obviously as a assistant, you're going to bring in a little bit of your own, but then use a little bit of that as well. So I don't think it's anything that you should not expect.